Good afternoon and hello there. Welcome back to Python for Beginners. Continued user-defined function. So we had a mixed response. Some messaged me and some WhatsApped me and some commented also, right, regarding user-defined functions. So this may be the last class before assessment, or maybe we may have one more class before the assessment. So here all the public classes are going to be maybe stopped. Right, so then we will do the assessment and see who to continue with. Right, before I move to the next section, let me give you the recap of user-defined functions. You've already seen. I would like to give both. I would like to repeat and give you something else like nested functions and every single thing. But yeah, functions are key. They are the backbone here of before starting with object-oriented programming and database approach. So functions remain the key. So if you have understood functions, you understood, let's say, about 30% of object-oriented programming, right? And without wasting much of your time, so let us get started with functions in Python. All right, and as I told you, that function is something like, it sounds like do something. It's a verb, right? It can start with a noun and then actually it is do something. Right, for example, if I have in the real world I have you can say cat, right? I'll say cat is there. Cat is a property. Cat has properties like the cat drinks, she runs, she eats. So there are three properties of cat: drink, eat, and run. So to make the cat run, I have to call a function. So that the properties activate, I'll say run, the cat starts running. I'll say stop, the cat stops running. That's what happens in real world. So I'll say eat, cat starts eating, dog, cat, anything. So just like real world examples. So this is what we mean by functions, and there are many different things. And believe me, you'll not even believe when I show you the things that we can achieve by user-defined functions. So the complete we can say. Python is then a very little thing, right, in front of functions. But we don't have to do functions for the sake of functions only. Right, so we have to do functions just like using object-oriented programming, right? We have to do functions. We have to learn functions inside classes, outside classes, and all those who are watching, I must congratulate you. Out of hundreds, thousands, you are unique. You have that patience, and once you have that patience, means there is something in you. The belief is there, right? Why would you come so far, watch all the lectures and come so far? Why would you come had there not been anything in you? The belief, the passion, right? What you need to do that, nurture that, right? So instead of wasting the passion, nurture the passion, right? And you will see the magic, right? And believe me, if you learn in 3 months, you can earn much more than a normal BTech and MTech guy learns, because it's not a job, it's not cup of everyone's tea, right? So you can say that basically. This is something that within 3 or 4 months you can do and just start earning, right? Right. So if I can show you, if I should show you that popularity index, so I will say popularity index of Python, right? So you'll be able to see, I'm uploading a video. I may be a bit slow right here, but yeah, you can see, right? So you can see that the popularity index of Python is #1 here, right? The share is 30.61 and Java has fallen down and JavaScript and C. Now this is something you're learning, right? The demand is so much, the supply is less. Right, and you can see that in 3 months, if you work hard, you're beating someone who's BTech, MTech already, and instead of an employer taking him, is taking you, and you're getting something in 4 months that he could not get in 4 years or 10 years, right? But yeah, you have to at least work harder here and practice more, and that's what I keep on telling you. It doesn't matter that you know, right? What matters that you know what you know is something that you can speak up, right? You have to say what you know and say it in a very proper manner. That's why I say, examination preparation and preparation for interviews is going to happen alongside the classes, and next class is going to be completely examination and interview preparations. So I'll keep 2 classes for exam and interview preparation, wherein we will open the exam explorer and see the questions and start answering questions one by one, right? And before I start with that tomorrow, so let me complete functions, and then functions are going to be obviously repeated. Even I said 60% understandability is enough. If you understood 60%, so that's, I say congratulations, you understood 60%. That's going to be more than good. All right, and let me carry on and start with again functions. All right, as I said, right, function is defined by using this def keyword, and it is a keyword, and then the name of the function, right? For example, display, and function is known as a function only if it has parentheses before it. You can define many things, but if you're defining a function, it need to have these parentheses, right? So I can say now you have defined display as a function, and this display function can print for you. I can say print hello world, right? And now it's a string. Now imagine if you are printing string, right? If you are printing string, string has to be within quotes, and you can clearly see it's within quotes here. And if you are printing out of variable, variable is not meant to be in quotes. It's only the raw string which is meant to be in quotes, right? Okay, now I can go ahead and call print, hey, or you don't have to call print because you're already printing it here. So I will call this function display, display. That's it. Once you call display function, you're going to get the result, that is hello world. As simple as anything. Now you can say, instead of printing, I have to return. You don't return. Some students were writing like this, return print. What is return print? I don't know. You have to return the complete string, right? You can return it like this. Now this complete string is returned back to the function. Now what happens? You call this function, right? That is the request, and it gives you something back. That is the response. Now since it's returning, you'll not be able to print anything. What you do? You can even say response, response. I do a lot of spelling mistakes. So you can either say response is equivalent to display, and then you can say print response. As simple as anything. You can print response directly, and now you're getting hello world, right? Now what if you want to print something like I will give, let's say about I will say something like this. Let's say now the function is here, and this function accepts one parameter, right, is name, right? So it's accepting name, and what I do, I will say, hey, right, you return back to the function. First return back to the function welcome, right, and then return back to the function name, right? And now this function is used to concatenate, right? Okay, and now what I do, I'll just format it. Now what this function is doing, it's concatenating and prefixing welcome before this name, and it's not printing, it's returning it back, doing the operation and returning it back, right? As good as you eating, someone giving you a bucket, you're returning the bucket back with water. Someone giving you a basket, you're returning basket back with bread, right? So now if I say print, you can directly call this print display. You can directly call, but you have to pass one parameter here, all right? Or you can say, right, you can say result is equivalent to display, and now you have to pass one parameter here. So you can pass any name. I'll pass the name, and I'll say print result. Now you'll be able to print result. Now what have you passed? You're calling the function display, and you're passing only Fahim, and this function returns welcome Fahim, right? So now you can see it returns welcome Fahim. This is automatically concatenated. Or you can say, for example, you can directly go and take it here. Print me the return result of display Fahim. What is Fahim? Because the function accepts one parameter, you're passing one parameter. Let's say about if the function accepts two parameters, right? You can see this, if the function accepts two parameters. So I'll say address. It's going to throw an error here, right? Missing one required argument, because the function is accepting two arguments. Why are you supplying one argument? You need to supply two arguments to the function. As simple as anything, right? So because we are supplying only one argument, and we can directly supply that and print the returned result right here. Now we are getting welcome Fahim. For example, now if we have a function, we can say it accepts f name, which is the first name, and it accepts last name, right? And it returns back to the function f name, right? And it gives a bit of space and l name. Now what is this function returning back? First name and last name. Alright, you can now say I am going to give to the function. For example, you can say input, you can say f name is equivalent to input, or you can say anything. For example, fn, which is f name, is equivalent to input, right? Enter first name, and you can say it like this, like this, like this, right? And you can say enter last name, right? So this is enter first name, and then you get enter last name, and then what do? You say, right, full name is equivalent to, I name this function as get full name, right? So the name of the function is get full name. I say full name is equivalent to, I will say get full name. But wait a second, it's going to throw an error. Why? Let's see. Right, so you can see this. It's the except get full name is missing two positional arguments because the function get full name accepts two parameters. One is the first name, another is the last name. If the function accepts two parameters, why don't you give function two parameters? And those two parameters are coming from input, enter first name, goes to fn. This is going to be my first parameter, and it's automatically first one is mapped with first one. Name can be different, but yeah, this first one is mapped with this first one. And second argument is ln, right? And now you can say, now you know that variable names cannot be same, right? If they are same, they are getting overridden, or they are getting the value inside the variables may vary. We're redefining the variable. That's why fn is going to take the first name, ln is going to take the last name, and you're calling this get full name function, which returns the concatenation of first name and last name, and you're printing full name, as simple as anything. So I'll say enter first name, I'll say Fahim, enter last name, I'll say Khan. So you are getting Fahim and name. Alright, why are we getting it like this? Okay, sorry, I had to give space like this. Okay, enter first name Fahim and enter last name. Right, enter the last name, which is Khan. So we are getting, name. Okay, it's L name. Why? It's L name, sorry. Okay, let me try it again. So I'll say Fahim and last name is Khan. We are getting the full name as Fahim Khan. Even you can return it like this, return f name, as I said, plus L name. Okay, as I said earlier, the plus can be used for concatenation for string and addition for numerical. So I'll return Fahim, Khan, and I'm getting Fahim Khan. And now if you want a bit of space here, that's why I said without formatting it can be a bit hectic. But yeah, you need to know everything. Now I have added a bit of space, concatenated L name and F name. So now if I run it, right, if I say NIIT Srinagar, now you can see NIIT Srinagar. Right, if I say Fahim and I say Khan, and I'm getting Fahim Khan. So it's as simple as anything, but this is not recommended. What I recommend you using the same formatting stuff. You give manually a bit of space and return F name and L name. So this is going to do the same thing. There's nothing wrong in doing both the manners. Whatever manner you like can be achieved and can be done using the same manner. So it's very fun. Now you started learning fun. The tough days are over. The fun days have begun. Right? And it is, imagine now, you're taking this first name and last name from the first login form of your maybe social networking application within a month. Right? And getting all those concepts, right? It's going to be a real fun, and you have to always remember this fun, right? All right, so let me now show you something. Okay, already done that. All right, okay. Recursive functions. Right, so there are recursive functions. For example, I want to define a factorial of function using recursion. Right, let me say, for example, I want to define a factorial of function. I may say like this, right? Okay, let me do this. I will say define a function and the name factorial, and it accepts one parameter, which is n, and I will say if the number that you will pass when you call this function factorial, the number that you are going to pass to this function, if that number is less than or equivalent to 1, right? And then you return 1. Return back to function 1. What if it is not? So I will say if it is not, return n, right? And you do into, right? We know that the braces are first called. I will say you then do something like this. So you can do the factorial, or you can see that recursion. All right, you're calling the function internally. So you can say factorial of n minus 1. And now you will call this. So I will say print, what do you want? Factorial of, let me try 5. Now you can see, right, 120, right? Now why is, okay, is 5 less than or equivalent to 1? No, it is not, right? Now go to one thing, right, do the factorial, which is the function. Now you can see n into 5, right? What is n? N has already 5, right? And that is the factorial, right? And n minus 1 is 4, right? And factorial is going to add 1 0, that is 200. So let's see, it is 120. Yeah, that's a 200. All right, so you can do this. Even you can do any if and else inside the function. And as I said, you can do, you know, the lowest factorial, the highest factorial, right? And you can do many different things. You can call the functions to append lines, right? You can read, you can write, you can open the file using a function, right? You can use by list comprehensions. You can write to an Excel file using the function, right? So you can define, you can do many different things. For example, let me do a plain program, and then I'll tell you how to do that. So for example, I know that now I will be handling file streaming. So this section will cover 3 things. I repeat, this program is, let me take a look at the time. Okay, still we have ample amount of time. So this section is going to cover 3 things. Number 1, the section is going to cover for you files. So files, I said that files we are going to continue with the span of time, slowly, steadily. It's going to cover files, and we are first time writing to an Excel file today. Congratulations. Or let's say we are writing to a CSV file, which is comma separated values. That's also in Excel. And second, we are reading records in a loop. We're not reading one record, we are reading multiple records. And third, then we are writing back to using a function. Now let's see functions, exception handling, functions, and file objects are going to be clear. So for example, if I say file object, right, is equivalent to, I said it uses open, right? And once I said it uses open, I have to open any file. In my case, // my files is a folder, right? And there I will keep a file. Let's call this student students.csv, right? So we have this file students.csv. What do you want? If the file does not exist, I'll say write, go and create the file if it does not exist. And this can create exception. That is why I will try and handle the exception. I'll say, hey, I need to get user-defined messages. You are the sensitive part of the program. You may generate an exception, right? So I need to catch the exception, which is IO error as E, right? Or you can even say, even you don't know the IO exception, you can see I want to get the exception as alias E. Now what do you want if when you get an exception? I will say I will print the stack. I will say print, right, E. Any exception that you have got, you are going to print it without generating system error. Now it doesn't matter whether an exception comes, right, or it doesn't come. In both ways, the file should be closed, whether an exception comes or it doesn't come. For that, I will be using finally. Finally is executed in spite of, either try is executed. If everything goes fine, this is not executed. And now when this is executed, this was never executed. But it doesn't matter whether except is executed or try is executed, finally is going to get executed when either one of them is executed or both of them are executed. Right, which is not the case. One of them will be executed. So now in finally block, I will say file obj dot, right, so I will say close, because any file that you open is meant to be closed, right? Didn't I tell you that? Okay. So now I will try and close this and test my code. Okay, file obj is not defined. It is defined here now, maybe. Right now, because it is defined, we have to define it somewhere else. Okay, so this is not something that is going to generate an exception. I'll just keep the code here, because if you define file object in try, it is not going to be available for except and finally, right? Because the scope of this will be limited here, right? So that's why I say, okay. So I'll say file object is equivalent to something blank, all right? And then I go ahead inside try block and say file object, it's global. Now I define the global scope. Now what this happens, now you can see this file object is now accessible to this try, to catch, to finally, to all three. Now if I define it here, if I remove it here, so the scope is going to be only try block here. Now you can see, now the moment I define it here also, now it is basically going to do everything right. So this is not the fun basically, because what you need to do, you need to keep this outside the try block, right? Because what you have to do here, you have to read it. So you'll say records records is equivalent to file obj dot read lines, right? So you are now going to read. We did write lines, now we are going to do read lines. We're reading from it, right? So if now we are not, sorry, we're not doing write, we're only reading from it, all right? So if the file does not exist, it is for sure going to create an exception, right? If it doesn't exist. So let me show you. Right, so you can see it's generating an exception, no such file or directory. So now you can see it has clearly generated an exception, and that exception is meant to be basically handled here. So that's why I thought it would be better if we close it, or if we keep it here in the try block, right? So but in our case, so if I just comment it out and there is nothing in the try block, I can say pass. Alright, so still we are having this error, so we need to handle it. So let me see some other way of handling this. If I keep it here and then I say file object is equivalent to, so I'll say only file object is equivalent to, okay, say name file obj is not defined, so I'll define it with blank string. So now you can see file object dot close, str object has no attribute close. Okay, why doesn't it have any attribute close? Okay, let me get rid of finally for the sake, so let me see if it works. Yeah, now no such file or directory. We are able to now handle the exception. Let me just try it like this. Alright, so now no such file or a directory, right? Now I will go ahead and create this directory. As I said, this directory is meant to be created in my files. As the name of the directory, that is students.csv. So I will open my Excel, right? So I'll open my Microsoft Excel, and then what I do is create an Excel file. So let me keep some student names here, right? So I will say R0980, right? And let me say R0981, right? As R0981, R0981, and R0001, right? And say R0002. So this is roll number. So and the file, let me say NAVEED, Naveed, Fahim, right? IDREES, Idris, right? Basit. So these are the names of students, and now this is the gender, right? Male. So let me have some females as well. So let me have this Nilofer as a female in here. So I'll say M, F, M, and M. Now we have one female and two males. And let me have R0003, right? And let me have another one here, right? For example, TANZEELA, Tanzila as female. So now we have four females, two females, and three males in the CSV file. So this is what we're supposed to read. So let me save it. And now where do I save this? I have to save it in my file, and I have to name it students.csv. So I'll select CSV, comma, right? You can say comma delimited or comma separated values. I'm going to save this as CSV. You can save it as Excel as well, so that's not a problem. So now I have saved this as CSV, right? And now I'll minimize this file right here, or I'll cancel it, right? So I'll say save, store, okay, I'll say stu. So we have the students.csv file now. Oh, why did I click not save? Maybe now we have it, so no. So I'll click on students.csv. Yeah, we already have the students.csv now ready. So I'll say fine. So I'll close this, and now see if everything goes right. Yeah, now everything is right. So you're able to open it, but yeah, you did not close it, right? It's going to create a problem. So I'll say file object dot close. All right. Okay, so I'll say close. Yeah, close is not a function. That's why we're getting an error. Now, if I go to finally, as it doesn't matter what you do, please try and close the file. Yeah, absolutely right. So that's why close is not this. This is what it was creating an error, right? Parenthesis, but still it's working. I don't know. Now because we have used the file is there, right? So now in case we have an exception, like file is not there. So now in that case, yeah, we are going to get an object. File obj is not defined. So that's what we are getting. File object dot close. It is not defined, right? Okay. So that's why we get this error, right? If everything goes fine, then we are not getting, because it's already defined, right? And it has no attribute is equivalent to, I can say files is equivalent to file. So let me try this. So finally is not going to work here because it is defined in try. Once it is defined in try, the scope here is not available. So I'll close it thereby. Right, so I'll close it there only. Yeah, no such file or directory. So that's absolutely fine. No such file or directory. Fine. So now if I do CSV, we are opening and we are closing. Absolutely right. So now that's absolutely right. So now we are having records. So let me go ahead, and before I close it down, I will say records. Records. We want to read from the file. Records is equivalent to file obj.read lines. Read all the lines, right? And go and take whatever you read, store it in a variable known as data, and this is going to be a dictionary. So we are taking now what we are doing, reading from the CSV file and whatever we read from the CSV file will be stored in a dictionary, which is Python dictionary. Now we have read. Now let us store. Now we need to iterate, because you are reading multiple values, right? We know that we have 4 students. That means there are multiple, we can say rows, right, and multiple columns, right? So we have to iterate and loop through, right? So let me print it out first for you so that you understand what is happening, right? So I will say for, it's absolutely fine. So I'll say for rec in record. So that's what you know already. How do we loop through? And I can say print rec. Now if I say print rec, you'll be able to see. Now this is from the Excel file. We're reading from a CSV file. Now you can see this here, right? So now that's fine, but we don't want to only print, right? And it is comma separated values, if I suppose. Now if I ask you what is the condition of split here, we use split many times, but checking the condition right here using comma separated values, what is the separation point and what is the argument of split that we will give here? The condition is, of course, comma separated value, CSV, right? So we are going to separate wherever we find comma. So for example, if I say fields is equivalent to records rec 1 by 1 in the iteration dot split, you'll say that I need to split, and now first time we supplying the condition of split, that is comma. Now if I print fields, so let me see, right? Now what you have done, you split it and you converted it to, you know that split is going to split right wherever the condition is met and convert it to list. Split will always convert it to list. Split will return the list of things which have been splitted on the basis of the condition. If I don't have any condition, spaces are going to be taken by default condition. For example, if I don't supply any condition, so right, you can see that it's going to be a single because it has taken spaces into consideration. So I have to say, no, it's comma separated values. Please take commas into consideration. Now what I need to do, you know that now, right? So I need to get everything. So for example, I say print fields 0. Now what is 0? It is roll number. If I say 1, it is name. If I say 2, now see how fast this happens. Right, it is going to be the gender. Now if I say something like this, so if I say roll number is equivalent to fields dot 0, is it true? You'll say yes sir, it is true. Now if I say name is equivalent to fields 1, is it true? You'll say sir, it is true. And if I say gender, let me add one more column here in the CSV file. So let me add one more column. Let me add marks. For example, he has scored 78 marks, 66, 54, right, 80, or we can say 67 and 89. So now we have 4. Yes, I want to use the same format. Now we have 4 columns, marks. Now if I say gender is equivalent to fields 2 and marks is equivalent to fields 3, is that correct? You'll say yes sir, it is absolutely correct. So let me just indent them properly. All right, let me see whether we have any error. No error. Now we have imported all, right, and now roll number has all the roll numbers, name, and every single thing is right here. Now what do you want? What do you want? Right, you tell me, what do you want? I want to store numbers in float, right? So now I will convert numbers to float. Maybe some have point dotted numbers, right? Maybe percentages there, right? And then what I do right here, okay, I want to now print this data out. So that's absolutely fine. So I will say data is equivalent to, I repeat, data is equivalent to, so data is already an inbuilt dictionary right here, right? So I will just supply, I'll say data is equivalent to, now by roll number, I want to fetch by roll number, right? And I will say data is a dictionary, and I will say roll number, right, is equivalent to, which is the key and the value pair. So what I do here, I will say, right, that the name is equivalent to name. That's the first preference, right? And then I say gender is equivalent to the value. We know that this is key and a value pair. This is key, this is value, this is key, and this is value. And now I can say marks, right, is equivalent to marks. Now this marks is basically the key, and this marks is the value. We already understood it in this. Okay. Now let me close the file object here and say print. Right, I'll say print data. Right, now we need to print the data. Now we can see you're printing all the data now, right, with the roll number. So this roll number has this data. Now if I want to print the data of a specific roll number, all right, so I need to get all the roll numbers. For example, I require the data of R001. So this is how you query it. So this is querying the data. Name R001 is not defined, sorry, so I'll say data roll number. Just a moment. So I will say in data, so I will say this in data. Just I want to check it out. False, true, true. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So that's not a problem now. All right. Okay, this is the first part, and the first part is done. We are displaying all. All right. Okay, now this is how you catch data from an Excel file and display it all. Now I take this data and I can print this data right here for you. Now you have data of all the students, right? So this is Naveed, gender is male, and this Naveed is male. Am I getting it twice? Why are we? Yeah, we are going to get it again and again, because what we are doing it, we are printing inside for loop. I need to go outside the loop and print it, right? Okay, I'll go outside the loop and print it, but inside the try block, all right? But outside the loop. Now let me print it. Yeah. Now we have name Naveed, gender M, Nilofer is another name, Idris is another, right? Basit is another, and Tanzila is another. Okay. Now if I say I need to get data, and I need to get it as per the roll number, right? For example, R002 is the roll number. So please give me data of R102. It's not defined. Why are we getting R? Just a moment. Have we converted it? No, but are we taking data? We're taking roll number. Roll number is field 0. Is that field 0? Okay. Yeah, roll number is field 0. You can see this. R0980. Now if I say give me R0980, why wouldn't I get it? Name is not defined. Why? Maybe I have to type it as string. Who knows? Yeah, now we are getting it. Name. Okay, now this is how search works, right? Now I don't want you to do it like this. What I don't want to print any single thing. So what I will do here, I will define a function. Now see how better program this is going to be. I will say define get student details, right? And this is going to accept one parameter, which is roll number. Now see the magic here. The function is going to accept one parameter, which is the roll number. Now I have to create an indentation. So this is the proper indentation. Now this is the end of my function. This is try. This is catch. Now every single thing is fine. So I don't want to print anything, right? What I will do right here, right? And what am I going to do? Now this is data. Now I already have data, right? I will go outside the loop here, right? Inside the function, but outside the for loop. Now I say if, in case, right? I'll say if, right, roll What you are accepting is the roll number. Yeah, we are accepting roll number. So I will say if roll number is in data. If the roll number is in data that you have supplied, if that is there, then go and do this, right? Then go and do something like this. So I'll tell you what. I'll say return this. Right, so I will say return back to the function this line, right? Okay, now that is fine. So I will say return. Okay, so why don't I format it? So I'll say I format it. Okay, let me format it for you. So I will say return back to the function formatted string, right? So I will say name is equivalent to, and then I will say name. Right, and then I say gender is equivalent to, then I say gender, gender, and then I say marks is equivalent to, then I say marks. Now if it is there, if it is not there, so I will say else. If it is not there, if you have supplied wrong roll number, I will say return back to the function record not found. So see the magic now here, right? So now I don't have to do anything. If we are having an exception, right, if there is an exception, I will say return return the exception. So I don't want, so I'm not printing anything here in this function. So this is it of the function. So now I'll go ahead, and what I do, I will say print get. Now this is the function that I have to call, get student details, and I will pass the roll number, which is going to be some roll number R0980. So I'll pass it as string. Now give me the details of this roll number. So let's see what I get. Okay, let's see what I get. Now name is Tanzila, gender is female, and marks is 89. For example, if I give something which is wrong, right, or the roll number that does not exist, right, we're still getting Tanzila. Just a moment, why are we getting Tanzila? Okay, maybe it's already there, so who knows. Tanzila. So what if I don't supply anything? We're still getting Tanzila. Yeah, we have something wrong. Okay, let me see this here, what is happening. So now we have taken data, we have closed. If now, is it inside loop? Yeah, it's outside loop. If roll number is in data, right? So that's what I say. If it is in data, right, absolutely fine. So that's not a problem. All right, you return this. If the roll number is found in data, right? Okay, you return me this. If it is not found, then you return this and catch the exception and return the exception. Now we should not be able to get this. Why are we getting Tanzila then? Are we printing anything? Right, so if I say get student details and we don't pass anything, yeah, we have something wrong here. So let me see roll number. This takes some parameter roll number. So we read the file and we store it. So name is equivalent to, okay, we are doing it wrong. We are taking this name right here. So it's going to always return the last one because we're taking this name. It's always going to return the last one here, right? So we did mistake here. I will have to say I need to get data and the name inside data, and I need to get data and name inside data, or I can print the entire thing if it is there, right? If roll number is in data, right? And then you can say, okay, let me see this. Now we are getting only Tanzila, right? Because we want to get data and we want to get the name. So that is where the problem is, right? Because you are targeting this inside loop. So that's where the problem lies. Why? Because we are here. So let me say if roll number is in the data, you go, and if roll number is in data, so I'll say return found, or you return record not found. So you can say found. Without even typing, we're getting found. So that is what the problem is. Okay, that's where the problem. Okay, let me do this. So we are having this data now, right? So let me return this back to the function. So I'll say return data back to the function, close this. Let's not do this here. Let me do this somewhere else. Right, so let me not do this here. I'll close this and let me see now. What are we getting? Okay, we're not getting anything, right? Fine. Then there's no problem now. Okay. Okay. Okay, we have to return it here. So why am I returning it here? Fine. Okay, we have to return data. No, we cannot return this. I have to return data. Alright, so I'll have to return data. And still we are getting some error. Let us not return anything. Let me see what are we getting. Yeah, we have some kind of error in here. And maybe the error is, yeah, it's indentation error, right? Sorry, it's indentation error. Right, we are getting none now, right? So let me see. Once I do something like this, I will say you already have this data, right? And if you print, you mind if you print data as per the roll number, right? So I will say this has nothing. I'll see what we are getting. We are not getting any different thing. You're printing data without giving any roll number. So now if I give any roll number, R002, which is the roll number of Idris, I suppose, yeah, we are getting R002. But yeah, look at it. We are printing data and then we are calling roll number right here. Right, so that is where the problem lies. Is not defined, right? So now if I define it, yeah, we are getting R002, but what if I take it out? So it's not allowed. It's not allowed to print outside the loop, right? Let me see again what is happening. Data will take a single key. Key is going to be the roll number, and this is going to be the entire value, right? Name, gender. If I print data, if I print full data, do I get data? Yeah, I get data of only one. Yeah, okay, that's what the problem is. We have taken this data outside the loop. Oh, sorry. We cannot take it. We have to print it outside the loop. I cannot take it because, yeah, now it's getting the last one, right? Okay, now if I print data now, we are getting all. Yeah, sure. Now let's see. If I say this R002, so I will say if, right, let's say about if I say if this R002 is in, if R002 roll number is available in data, then you return yes. If it is not, else you return no. At times debugging helps. Debugging is very good, right? You should not give up. Now we are supplying some roll number that does not exist. So let's see what we get. We are getting still yes. That is the problem. If R002 in data, right? So that is where the problem is. If it is in data, we are getting yes. If it is not in data, we should be able to get no, but we are getting yes for everything. If it is in, yeah, no, we have supplied R002. It is always going to be in, right? So I call the student get details instead of R002. We are supplying a parameter roll number. Yeah, that's what we have to do. My mistake. Now see what happens. You call the function get student details, pass one parameter roll number. Now you go here, you say, hey, whether the roll number is in this data dictionary, right? If it is, then yes. If it is not, now you have to supply the roll number from here. Now we are expected to get no. If not, then I don't know. Yes. Okay. So we are not still getting no. If roll number in data, is roll number available in data? It should be. So I'll say if roll number in data is yes, so roll number is something that we have supplied from here. We can supply it here. Is still getting yes, right? Is roll number in data? Now can I print this? I don't get it, right? So if I say print ROLL roll number, so let me print roll number R003. Why are you getting R003? Maybe we have mentioned it manually some at times, we have mentioned it somewhere, why is it then having R0? Are we calling it 2 times then? No, why is R? Okay, we are printing roll number here. Should not print, right? So let me carry on and say none, right? So we are getting none. Okay, absolutely fine. So now if I supply R, what was that? R003, we should get Tanzila. Now if I supply R003, now let me catch R003 here in this roll number, and then I say, alright, you're closing the file object, right? But yeah, still you have this right here. So I will say print roll number. So what roll number are you getting? You are getting R0003. That is absolutely fine. So if I say print the data of this roll number, what you are getting? Okay, it's basically it's again you are defining same roll number of 2 names. My mistake. So let me keep it RN. Alright, so let me keep it R. Because roll number is already defined here, right? So sorry. I don't know where my brains are today. Right, so we will get, yeah, we are getting now, right? So if I print this, and now if I supply something wrong, so we are getting 003. So that's absolutely fine, right? So I will say now if, right? So if not that roll number, so I will say if RN, right, is in data print yes, otherwise, right, else print no, right? Instead of print I will have to say return and return, right? Alright, so now if RN in data is going to be there, right? So yeah, indentation problem, so I'll correct that. Okay, now see, yes, right? So we're getting yes. Now if something that is not there, we are getting no. Now see this, now see the error, all funda went wrong once we had. Now see, what is this here? You're defining roll number here, right? And what are you doing here? Accepting the same name as a parameter, roll number, right? And they are having fight, right? Now it's going to take field 0 automatically. Roll number is going to take it over. If there is nothing here, still it is going to have the 0th element. So that's why we were getting yes, yes, yes every time. Now see what is happening. You pass the roll number. Now you have opened the file, read lines from the file, store the roll number in roll number, name in name, gender in gender, and marks in marks, right? And then created a dictionary with a key roll number, and this is the complete value, and close the file. And then you say if there is the roll number that you have supplied here, if that is in the dictionary, right, return yes, otherwise return no. I'll not say return yes this time, right, but I will do something like this. I will say return, right, return the formatted string of name is going to have, right, so name is going to have the name. So let me see the first thing, right? So let me see the first try. If I go ahead and do, we'll get no this time, but if I supply R002, then I should get Tanzila. If I supply R003, we should get Tanzila again. Why? Because the name is always Tanzila. Now if I do something like this, I will say no, I need to get name out of this data parameter because we are doing search operation. So we are getting Tanzila now, right? If I say get me 2, we are still, why are we getting still Tanzila? If I say 1, we're getting Tanzila. If I say nothing, we are getting no. Alright, yeah, that is possible. That is possible. Why? Because you are not querying. You are basically taking out all the data, right? Because that's what you have to do. Okay, because you have to give the condition here, condition of getting the data. Alright, so that is why we have to say that I need to get, let me have it like this, I need to get out of the data, I need to get the same roll number, right, that you have supplied. Now you can see there is nothing. So if I say R001, we are getting the full, right, you can see, and if I say R002, we are getting the full, right, and if I say I need to get the first one here, I'm getting 0, right. If I want to get the first one, I'm getting 1. If I want to get the second one, right, so sorry, I'm doing it wrong. Now you can see, now I need to get here maybe the name, you're getting Basit, right. So now we are doing wrong. So you say that I need out of the data the roll number that I have supplied, but what do you want? I want the complete details of that. So you can do something like this, and like this, and like this, and like this, and you can say details, DETAILS, right, and it is going to be a formatted string of details. And then let me see now. Yeah, now you're getting all right, so that everything is right. And here else, no record found, right. So let me now take it here. Okay, I will say input, take input as enter the student roll number. Now see the magic here. I will say so I will say query is equal to input. You are taking the student roll number as an input from the user, and then same input goes here. Now let me see. So I'll say R0001, right. So R0001, you're getting no record found. Now what is the record roll number that we have to search for? R0981 Nilofer, right. So let me say R0181, which is Nilofer. No record found. Why is that? So just a moment. Print get student details and input. No, query. Sorry, query. Alright, so let me print it out. You're getting details, right? Name Nilofer, gender female, marks this. So let me have another one. The details of R10001, no record found, so we know that, right. So I can say R1001, so no record found, we know that. Alright, so we have some R also. What is that? R0001 and 0003. So now let me go. R0001 is Idris, R0002 is Basit, R0003 is not found. Okay, I increase zeros. R0003 is Tanzila. Now see, absolutely perfect, right? So we don't have any problem at all now. Let me take a look at time. So time is still, we've already passed 1 hour, close to 1 hour. So I'll wind it up for today. Now what I'll do right here, I'll give you the rough what is happening. You are taking input, right, from the user, that goes to query, and that query is sent to get student details. Very easy, right. The once you go to get student details, all the time, all the hell broke loose today because of the collision. We are accepting roll number here, and same roll number is overriding our roll number here. Now you know, if I say roll number here, now you first define it here and redefine it here. Now whatever was here was lost here, right, because I've given you the definition of roll number. That's why all the hell broke loose today, right. So now at the end, all is when that end as well. Alright, so now you have been able to achieve this. Everything is working fine. Now you can see that, right? Okay, now when you pass roll number, what is going to happen? You create an object of file, read from the file. File should be already existing because you're reading from the file. And to read, we have to do read lines. Then you defined empty dictionary, and you said I want to loop through the records now because you are getting multiple records, right? And then you said I want to split on the basis of comma. Once you split on the base of comma, the split is going to return the result. And the first section of the result is roll number, Second cell of the result is name, and then vice versa. You go and marks, you are taking it as float, right? Then you said, I want to store it in a data, which is basically an empty dictionary, right? But I want to give it a key. This entire dictionary has now a key, which is, right, this roll number, and this roll number further has a dictionary. So now that means once I loop through, the first roll number is going to be stored here, the second is going to be stored here, the third is going to be stored, and all the data is going to be now stored on the basis of roll number. Why roll number? So that we can query it and close the file, and then say that the roll number you have passed, whether that roll number is in the data. If that is in the data, return back that roll number to the function, right? And you're returning that back to the function, right, like this, and you are returning data, and you're returning the complete data on the base of roll number. You're not returning the entire data set. What do you want out of that data? Single data of that particular roll number. That's why I say I don't require entire data of details of all 4, 5, 10, 100, 200 students. I require a detail of particular one student. That's why I pass this here, and then I have verified that that roll number is there in the data, which is the dictionary, and then I need that particular data to be returned back to the function. Else, if you don't find, return not found. And then when we run it, now we supply data, then we are going to get R1. I'll say R1, what? R, I don't get it. R, what is wrong? I don't know. R1 triple, no, it's not, or R triple 03, so we will be getting Tanzila, right? So if I say R triple 03, so we will be getting student not found. If I say triple 03, R triple 03, so we should, or triple 02, we should be getting Basit, right? So we're getting name is Basit, he's a male, and the marks CS code 67.0. Why are we getting 0.0? Because we converted that to float. Now the last but not the least thing, so I will take this entire function, right, as a software. This is a small software that you have made, because you should be proud that you are reached so far that you are now designing software module. So I'll say new file, right, and I will just say, I'll save this as students. Now this file is saved as students, right? So now I'll close this file. Now simple operation. So I'll say import students as std. I've imported students as std, calling the function. So I will say right here results is equivalent to, call the function, that is get student, but you'll not be able to call it directly now, right, because you have to call it with std. You may have, students may have different functions. So I'll say std.get students query, and I'll print results. Now I can run this, enter the roll number, right, R triple 01. So I get C, the small program, and behind it is a complete software. Alright, so this is, should be happy that you've been able to develop a very small software. And believe me, you'll say that we haven't got 100%, congratulations. You'll say we haven't got 90% as well, congratulations. You haven't got 70%, congratulations. If you got 50%, right, it is 50% will be 80% in 2 days while you practice, and this is going to be repeated till the time we are doing the course. Function is going to be repeated now each and every day. Don't lose heart, practice very hard. This is a very small software module. This is what you do in software companies. Hey, my software developer, your team leader may come, your boss may say, hey developer, I need you to develop a small module. Why do you require it? I just want you to develop a student results module wherein students online will be able to check their results, right? So you'll say, okay, fine, import students at std and take input. My function is going to give you results back. As simple as anything. So now you are half a software developer. It's not that easy, right? So I congratulate you for watching the complete video. Not only watching the complete video, watching the complete series, right? And you're moving at the right direction. I wish you all the best. Tomorrow we'll start exam preparations, inshallah, and interview preparations, because I promised you that it is not going to be a crash course, right? It's not going to be something which is hidden. Nothing will be hidden in this course. All the techniques, where all those techniques you cannot find in internet, or you cannot find surfing internet, will be shown here. Professional, expert, right, complex, basics, everything depending on your will and passion. All the best. Bye bye. Take care.